Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. Do you come here often? Anyway, hi guys. So it's currently the end of September, beginning of my favorite month, October. Hashtag Libra season, hashtag fall, hashtag Halloween. Like, what else do you need to know? Anyway, it's time for my September wrap up. And this month I read 8 books this month, which I would say is pretty good. I've been like in a giant reading slump for the entire month of all of the months of summer actually. So of course as soon as I go back to school I'm actually reading again. Wow, isn't that amazing? Anyway, let's get into it, right? We should just hop right in. Buckle up. I feel like I'm like a little bit too high energy right now. Who cares? Starting off, we have a new favorite of mine. Go watch my favorites video if you haven't already. Great video, I would say. It's my favorites. And it is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. Like, wow. This book blew me away and I didn't expect it at all. If you don't know, it's kind of like a sci-fi, kind of dystopian. I say more sci-fi. It's, I think, the first year actually starts in 2023. Oh no, 2024, which is really funny because it's like set in the future and it's like now, which I love. It's basically following a girl who, I think she starts the book at 15 and kind of goes through a few years. And she's living in like a post-apocalyptic kind of California. Basically just like the outside world is just like ruin, people are all over the place, the government has no power. It's kind of like just total anarchy, but she lives in like this fenced neighborhood with her family and a few other families, and it's really good. I think it should be like one of the books that they teach in class. There's just so much to unpack in this book, and it's so heartfelt and so real, and I loved every moment of this. And it's written in diary entries, which I also love. I love the whole, is it expository? Look at me using my little English brain. But yeah, I love when it's like written in letters and stuff. I think that's so cool. And I really loved our main character, Lauren. I think she's just like a fun character to follow. And I love the way she like navigates her life and her like battle with religion, but like her own religion. It's really cool. I recommend this book a lot, and I'm so glad I started it off this month because I think it just set the tone for the month. If it isn't obvious, I gave this book 5 stars. Following that book, I decided I needed something kind of more fantasy leaning, but I still like the sci-fi vibes. So I decided to pick up A Master of Jinn. This book is, I'd say, like fantasy with more like steampunk elements. Like, look at that cover. Like, tell me that doesn't scream like steampunk? Steampunk? Oh my gosh. Basically, we follow our main character as she like navigates, it's like, I think it's 1920, or yeah, 1912 Cairo. And like there's these people, these jinn who have like powers, and then there's like people that don't have powers, and it's just like very interesting. Our main character works for this like ministry that keeps like the jinn and the people with power like kind of like in line, but also just like deals with all like the crazy stuff that happens surrounding that. And it's kind of like a little murder mystery. It starts off where a bunch of people are dead and our main character goes and tries to find out who's happening or who did it and what's happening. And then also just like a lot of stuff happens. It's very good. This is just also just a very quick read to me. Super accessible to get into the world. I didn't have like any problems with that, but sometimes like fantasy or sci-fi can be a little hard, but this one was super quick. I liked the little magic system. It was cool. I liked it. It was good. I did feel like it was a little draggy at parts. Like, it was quick pace, but I feel like we didn't focus on all the stuff that we needed to focus on. But I know this book was like based off a short story that the author wrote like beforehand, and I'm really interested to read that because I feel like this might present the characters, or like that might present the characters in like a way that'd be not easier, but like more fun to read. I don't know. This book was good. It's just, I wish we got, I don't know how to describe it. It was like well paced, but I like building on the characters and character development, which we didn't really get a lot of. And I just don't know if that's because a lot of the characters were like established in the short story, or if this just like, it was just a lot more plot focused and like kind of go type of book. So it wasn't bad, it just wasn't my favorite because I do like kind of slowing down and focusing on the characters and like developing relationships and like just seeing how people change. Anyway, I gave this book a 3 stars. Still pretty good. I would definitely recommend if you like kind of like a fast-paced book. Yeah, it was definitely a good read, but it just wasn't my favorite. This next book was one that I read for my Anthropology of Egypt class, staying in like the vein of Cairo, but not really Cairo for this one. But it is Veiled Sentiments, and this book is an ethnography about the Bedouin people and just how they express their like love and words that they can't say through poetry. Super insightful read. I liked it a lot. I kind of somewhat read this book last semester for my class that I was a TA for, but I didn't actually read a lot of it, so it was definitely good to go back and read it and understand everything that happened. I love learning about people I don't know about, and this just gave me a lot of insight into the Bedouin people and their culture and how they just express themselves. I think that's super rewarding to know about and to learn about, and I recommend if you're interested in that stuff. This one is also like just super accessible, very easy to read and just get a grasp on. I know this is like one of the biggest like ethnographies ever. Like, it's just super popular and it goes beyond like the scope of like the anthropology world. So yeah, it was super cool. Okay, so next I started my like fall TBR. I kind of just wanted to get into it, start getting into the mood for like October, November time. And so I'm like, okay, what's something that like is kind of spooky, but I'm still in like this fantasy mood. And so I decided to pick up One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. Let's just start off. This book is literally so beautiful. Like, I love it. I love the end pages. Amazing. Also it has like illustrations in the middle of it. Like, tell me that's not beautiful. Anyway, this book follows like 2 rival families in New York. Maybe this is 1950s. I can't remember. But it follows 2 rival, they're witch families in New York. And no, it's definitely present day. It follows 2 rival witch families in New York, and just a lot happens. Ties kind of get mixed in throughout the families, and they kind of have to decide what side they're fighting for, who they want to fight for, who they're loyal to. Lots of backstabbing, lots of murder, potentially coming back from the dead. Lots of fun characters. It was such a quick read. Like this, I picked it up in like 2 days and ate it. Like, it was so good. Yeah, I love them. Like, this is just a fun read too. I'm so glad I gave Olivia Blake another chance because I didn't love That List 6. Wanted to pick up something else like this a lot better. Would definitely recommend for this time of year too. It has like the little witches and like spells, but it's still fun and casual. So yeah, love this. I think I gave it a 4 stars. Very good. I pick it up. Pick it up. I feel like I'm probably the last person on earth to pick this up though. Like, everyone's reading this right now, but if you've been putting it off, pick it up. Okay, next I was in my little, once I read like so many fantasy books, I start going into my head and I'm like, I need like a classic. I need something to ground me, you know? And so I decided to pick up Giovanni's Room, Mr. Baldwin. Also, I love this cover. Like, tell me this isn't like an amazing cover for a book. I judge books off their covers. I'm sorry, I said it. I said it. Anyway, this follows our main character. He's a young, handsome American man, and he decides to go to Paris just to, he's in that point of his life where he's like, I need to go to Paris. So he goes to Paris after high school, I think, and then he has these friends, and he meets Giovanni, and he has a room. No, but this book kind of focuses on themes of like morality and what's right and wrong, and also like kind of like just your battles, your inner struggles with sexuality and morality and love. Anyway, this book is super short, but it was really good. I want to pick a lot more Baldwin novels, but this is all I have right now. I think I gave this 4 stars. Yes, I gave this book 4 stars. I liked it. I feel like I haven't been explaining these books very well. Sorry. That's what you have Google for, and Goodreads, and any other place where you can look up the description for the book. I feel insufferable right now. Next, I read First Person Singular by Haruki Murakami. I love this little ape. Are we twins? This is a collection of short stories by yours truly, Murakami. I think there's like 8 in here, 6 or 8. They're all written in the first person singular. Who would have thought? But they're very just Murakami. If you know, you know. Like, it's just his writing style. It's like very mundane, but also like a little spice thrown in, a little bit of weirdness thrown in. And yeah, most of the stories I think were like around 20 pages, so very short, very easy to like get through a story and just like set it down. This definitely was not my favorite thing I've ever read by him, but it wasn't my least favorite thing I've ever read by him. So I have a very love-hate relationship with Murakami. Like, I think I rated his books anywhere from like a 2 stars to a 5 stars. So anytime I pick up a novel of his, it's always like, where is it gonna land? So yeah, this was a very middle ground, 3 stars. I think if you're trying to get into him, this might be a good one to pick up to just like understand how he writes and not get too invested in his story, since there's a bunch of short stories and they're all like good. Like, there's none of them where I'm like, oh, I wish I hadn't read that, or like that was wasting my time. It's just they're all very like middle of the road for him, and I feel like when I read him I kind of expect more after reading like After Dark or like any of his like other ones that are just like so masterful and like creative. So this was a fun one, but that was kind of it. I did like the little monkey. I liked his story too. There's one of the stories that has like a talking monkey, and that's him, I think. Last but certainly not least, it's everyone's favorite, Fourth Wing. Guys, I finally read it. I've had this book for like a month or 2, and I finally read it. I feel like everyone knows what this is about because everyone has read it before I have, but if you don't, I'll give you 3 words. Dragons. What else happens? Dragons, hot guy alert, and flying. I think that's all you need to know. I think dragons and flying kind of go hand in hand, but like, that's the book. I went into this with very, very low expectations. I don't trust Book Talk. Usually hate stuff that Book Talk recommends, and so when this was happening I ignored it for the longest because I'm like, oh, I am a pro fantasy reader and I know something like this isn't gonna be enough. And I was wrong, guys. I was wrong. I'm so happy about that though, because I love enjoying books. I did do a whole reading vlog on this. Go watch it. You'll see like my like chapter by chapter kind of notes. But yeah, I did really enjoy this. there are plenty of critiques I also have on this, but just like based off of pure enjoyment, pretty high. There's also very good like disability rep. I don't want to say very good because I'm not one to like be like, oh, this is very good, but I thought it was good from what I've seen in other books at least. I really liked our main character. She was very cool, which I think sometimes hurts in romantasy novels. Like sometimes just the main character is very lackluster and just doesn't do enough. So pleasantly surprised with that. Definitely gonna pick up the sequel and the other books soon. What next one comes out in November, I think. Might skip the hype though because I'm scared of it, but we'll see. I had like a lot of things to say and I just forgot them all when I picked up this book, but that's all I have for you. I think I am in the middle of like 3 other books right now and I just haven't gotten to them yet or gotten to finish them yet, but you'll see those next month, I guess. If you guys have any recommendations for October, please leave them down in the comments. I want to know what I need to read. Also, if you guys have read any of these books, let me know. I love talking to people about books that I've read. Who would have thought? Okay. Well, I'm about to go get ready and probably go to the bookstore. So, I'll see y'all later. Yeah. Bye, guys. I feel like I'm talking to like children when I do that. That's how I view you guys. You guys are my children. Why else would you listen to me?